Welcome back to the Aussie Shed, guys. Just a quick video here for you. As you guys would probably be aware, I'm in the process of getting everything prepped for paint on the Z32. And I've been looking at the factory door handles here, and I've decided that I want to pull them apart. Now, I have been told by people that it's impossible to pull them apart because you'll destroy them. And I don't believe that is the case, because I've actually already done one. I've seen people mention wiring the handle sort of half open when you're painting it, but the problem is when you look at the back of the handle here, it's very, very close across here, and it almost, as you move it up, it almost bridges. It's so close to like touching. So if you sort of wire that open partially and then paint it, the clearing particularly will bridge across that, and you'll just end up with a shitty finish there. And basically, as soon as you move it, you're covering up part of it, and it's going to be really hard to get a decent finish down in there. So I've looked at it and looked at it and looked at it and just thought, no, I'm not happy with it. I have to pull them apart to paint them, even if I have to make up new pins and stuff for them, which you won't need to do. You won't need to do. So I'll give you a run through what I've done. So this is the one I'm about to do, and this is one that I've done here. So if we turn them both over, you'll see that this guy has a spring and a pin through it, and this guy has nothing. So we can get that one apart, clean this up, paint these components individually to just get the best finish that we possibly can. So everything relates to this pin that runs through there. So you can see the pin has a little piece on the end. Hang on, I'm going to swap to another camera. This is terrible for close-ups. We need a few close-ups. I'll just grab my phone and mount it, guys. It's a lot better for this sort of stuff. Alright, that's looking a bit better. Let's see what we can do. So, it's all about this pin, guys, and in particularly, it's all about this end of the pin here. So this is the previous pin, and you can see that it's thinned down on that end there. So that's the only place that it's actually held in. It will slide very easily through all this section here. There's no risk of it breaking any of that when you push the pin back through. It's only actually tight in this very end piece here. So what I did on the last one, you can see the length of this. I just got a grinder and ground that down, because what they've done to assemble this, they've pushed the pin through and then they've hit this end with something, right? So they've just hit it with either some sort of a flat punch or something, and it's just spread it slightly on the end when they've hit it, and that's just basically locked it in there. So how I'm going to get around that in the end, I'm just going to put some Loctite on the end of this when I put it in. I've got some pretty decent Loctite. I'll leave a link in the description to the type of Loctite that you should use when you're reassembling this. It's not your normal Loctite, but it'll certainly do as good a job as this punching over will do on there. So all I'm going to do here, guys, I'm just going to go at it. I've got a 40 grit flat wheel on this, and I'm just going to grind that down until it's flush, or maybe even slightly below flush. Alternatively, you can center punch that and drill it, but you're going to find it's a lot messier, and you'll end up taking away more of the meat before you can get it out, due to the fact that the conical shape of the drill is going to remove more meat out of the center than the sides. And you can see from this pin that the flare is on the very, very tip. So drilling out the center isn't going to do jack shit. What you got to do is take out this bit here around that top edge. Just keep grinding it down until enough of that's gone that it allows you to pull it out. Even if you've got to grind down slightly into this here, doesn't matter a crap. Even if you've got to take that down a mill to get rid of the bit that's on there, the fattened out bit, it doesn't matter at all. So I'll get this in the vise and we'll give her a bit of a grind, eh? See that, guys? Just gone slightly down into the top there. Now I'm going to go back over to my little makeshift bench and give this a bit of a wiggle. So what I'll do now, guys, I'll just give this a bit of a test just to see if it's moving kind of freely at all. I've got some lock pliers here. I'm not really going to use this to get it out because I want to punch it out. But let's see if this will move. Okay, so you can see from the grinder marks. Come on, baby, friggin' focus. That this is moving. Right, there you go, you can see that. So I should be able to just work this out just by pulling down on it and turning it, but it is a little bit hard because it is quite sort of fattened on that end. But realistically, the easiest thing to do is to sit it back in the vise, put a punch on it and just punch it through like that. But you've got to have support under this section of the arm here. Obviously you don't want to just be hitting it down because you're going to snap that off. So you want some support under this, which is how I've got my vise set up at the moment there with some soft jaws in it. You know, it gives it plenty of support so we can punch this out. So we'll head back over to the vise and we'll punch this pin out. Now it may not come out on the first go, guys. It might take a couple of goes. I might have to grind a little bit more out of it. But we'll just see how we go here. If it starts to go down, we should be pretty right. You can't really see I'm out of shot, just a hammer and a punch. Yeah, that's moving really well, guys. You can see that. Yeah, yes you can. You can see that that's actually down a bit now in there. That moved pretty easy. It's popping out of the bottom there pretty well. So we'll just keep going with this. And that's it. We've only got to get through that first section. Because like I say, the hole's bigger. Because that first piece just has that thin down section on the very end there. Alright, I'll get this out. Let's go back and have a look at it. So you can see our pin's out this far. I guarantee it's probably down into this next section, which means it should be able to just be pulled out like this. There we go, pulling it out. Just keep going. It wants to sort of come up a bit because of that spring. So we'll just kind of put our hand over the spring so it doesn't fly out crazy. I'll just pull this out. Take the spring off. There's our pin. Handle comes apart. Bob's your uncle, ready for paint. There's our spring, what it looks like when it's off. And just like the other one, that's our pin. So you can tell it's slightly fat still on the end. So when we reassemble it, it will probably go in pretty tight. But as I mentioned, I'll throw some Loctite on there. Forget the number of the Loctite offhand, but I will put a link to it in the description that tells you exactly what type of Loctite it is to use. All right. So that's that, guys. So if you are interested in getting your handles apart for paint, that's how you do it, or that's how I've done it anyway. So if you like the video, guys, give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment because it does help me with the algorithm, which is a terrible thing to have to say, but it bloody does. And as always, guys, I'll bloody well see you on the next one. Cheers.